Hey guys, happy Sunday. And we have found out that a study from Harvard has suggested that red meat gives you diabetes. And false, at least in my case. I can't talk about everyone, but at least in my case, this didn't happen. And here's the mechanism, guys. When you eat a piece of meat, a lot of it obviously is, there's water, proteins, and fats, but zero carbohydrates. The proteins are used by the body to make several things, hormones, and you name it. It goes to building the body. Your bones are predominantly protein. Your skin is protein. Everything's protein. Now, what the body doesn't use for protein, what it doesn't use the protein to build with, it will convert to glucose. And then it will convert that to glycogen. It will store some in the liver, store a bunch in the muscles, and any extra sugar laying around will be converted to a small fat mass. And upon fasting or upon not eating for the next 12 to 14 to 16 hours, depending on when you eat, that fat will be immediately reused. Okay. So when you eat fats, that is processed, a little bit of bile squirted in there to emulsify it. It goes right into the lymphatic system, and it comes out of the lymphatic system right about here into a large vein, back to the heart, and then distributed throughout the body, used for energy. And when the fat supply is depleted, then you will begin to use your own fat stores. Scroll back for what happens to the protein. And if the body does have a demand for some extra sugar, it will take the fatty backbone, the glycerol part of the triglyceride, and it will turn that into sugar, whichever sugar the body needs, and mostly glucose, and for the brain. Now, when you eat a carbohydrate, all bets are off, guys. The carbohydrate is broken down very quickly, even in the mouth, into the stomach, and into the very early part of the small intestine, and it's broken into sugar immediately. And that gets distributed through the body quickly. And what the body can't use in about an hour to 2 hours is transformed into triglycerides, fat, and then stored in the fat cells, stored in the liver as fat, stored in the pancreas as fat, stored around the organs, for immediate use when times are not plenty, which in the modern world is pretty much never, at least for the Western world. So it's the carbohydrates that are creating the fat, and then people become obese, but that's an adaptation. And the body eventually can't rid itself of the extra blood sugars. That's the cause of diabetes. So go back through and find out for yourself, is the mechanism there for protein to create diabetes? No. Fat? Even less. There's almost no insulin used for a fat. If you just eat a chunk of butter, your insulin's just going to be like, what? But a carbohydrate? Ugh. And then, because in 2 hours you're going to get hungry, and then another carbohydrate, and then in 2 hours another carbohydrate. I mean, have you ever woken up so hungry for breakfast, and what do you grab? Cereal, pancakes, right? Syrup. Delicious. You're in trouble at that point. So that's the mechanism. Now, here's what actually happened to me. The picture that I have in my thumbnail, c'est moi. It was me, or I should say, c'était moi, 1 week before starting healthy keto. Now, if you can't just look at me and say, bruh, no way, dude, something's wrong with you. All right. I was eating meat, obviously. And then I would make sure the meat was surrounded by a hamburger bun, ketchup, okay, a big old red cola, right? I drank one of those each day on the weekends. I always had to have my cookies and my sweetbreads, and I made pancakes in the morning for breakfast on weekends, and you name it, all right? So I've just rattled off a bunch of carbohydrates. And I started this thing called Healthy Keto. Dr. Berg's channel popped up, do Healthy Keto, which essentially is a steak and a salad. It's literally steaks and salads, all right? Yeah, chicken and salad, fish and salad, pork and salad, but salad, okay? So salad was actually the main bulk. Lettuce, green beans, cauliflower, broccoli, spinach. I mean, you name it, you can throw it on your salad. Even mayonnaise would work. I wouldn't consider that the healthiest of keto because of the seed oils, but hey, when you're transitioning, you've already been killing yourself for the last 20, 30 years. So in about 6 months, I had lost a substantial amount of weight, but I was still puffy, and I wouldn't have noticed this had I not seen a video on this carnivore thing. And I said, well, let's do that. So coming up in November, I will be 2 years on carnivore, where I simply just eliminated the salad. My first carnivore meal was exactly half of a chicken, and I was stuffed, and I couldn't eat till the next day. But weirdly, I started losing even more weight, and all the inflammation left. I had no more puffiness under my eyes, nothing. I mean, if I close my eyes like this, you can actually see wrinkles in my genetic bags, all right? I have little bags. My dad had them, my grandpa had them. But they're not like do this and they stay puffy. No, not even close. And I just woke up about an hour ago. So I would still have puffy face. And then carnivore, wow, amazing. I could eat all I wanted, and I did eat. As a matter of fact, not all I wanted, but all I possibly could. I gorged myself on meats and fats. And it turns out I couldn't eat so much because as I started eating, and a bunch of eggs. I always start off with eggs. They're my hors d'oeuvres, right? 6 to 8 eggs, mostly 8, because sometimes I eat even more depending on, what egg makes up a portion of whatever I was eating for my meats. And every day I'm like, oh, please, just allow me to eat maybe half an hour, 40 minutes, because this tastes so good. No, about the 40-minute mark, my body goes, you're done, bruh. And it gives me almost a nausea, but not in the sense like I have to go throw up or anything. But it's like, you're done. Whatever it is, you put it in a tupper, you throw it in the fridge, and you can munch on that the next day with your food. And I can't gain a gram. This is horrible. This morning, I weighed 188 pounds, and in dog years, I think that's about 86 kilos. I don't weigh myself every day anymore, and I do it more for probably schnitz and giggles, right? But let me see what it was this morning. And it was, I'm sorry, I lied. 85 kilos, 188 pounds. Okay. And that's where I've been for about 2 years since carnivore. And in case you still need some convincing, I did blood work about a year ago. I'm not redoing blood work. I don't feel the need to. It's kind of expensive. I don't have insurance for it here. Well, my A1C was 3.82. So you look up the ranges for A1C and diabetics. My fasting insulin, good luck trying to find that because almost every doctor that I personally know has never tested for fasting insulin. They're like, why? Literally, what is it? I mean, they know what insulin is, but they don't know why to test for it. My insulin fasting, 3.2. And the snapshot at the day I did my glucose was 74. You look those three numbers up and find out if that has anything to do with diabetes. And guys, I eat 99% by weight meat and saturated fats. I don't even eat monounsaturated fats. As in fruit oils, all right, coconut and olive were the only fruit oils. I eat 0 seed oils. I don't eat any nuts. I do nibble on little bits of chocolate here and there. I do drink coffee. But by weight, my gosh, if I eat maybe 10 grams a day out of the 1,000 grams of meats and fats that I eat, let's do the maths. It's less than 1%, right? Or about 1%. So again, I can sit here, look you dead in the eye and say, hey, I am a 99% by weight carnivore. Since I don't deal with calories, those are irrelevant. I deal in food mass, all right? So those are the numbers. That was my journey through healthy keto, carnivore, and now optimum health. That's what actually happened to me. I've talked to you about the mechanism. According to Harvard, this diabetic study made no sense in my case. We're done here. And I really, really hope that you guys will give this a try so that you can prove it to yourself. Get your blood work, transition into a carnivore diet. Do that for 3 months. Recheck your blood work. And if you're diabetic, let me know in the comments. I will be pleasantly surprised. Have a great week. Be well.